morning, Dean.
Good morning, Nancy.
Dean is our Public Works Director at the village. He's been in his job a couple months now. Has lived generally in our area pretty much for a while, so it's kind of nice because he knows where we are. Today I invited Dean so that we could talk about a couple things that are going on. One thing of great interest to the village has been a Safe Routes to School program. We did receive a grant in conjunction with the school district working on that, and I would like you today to tell our listeners about the routes that we're going to do for the sidewalks, which is really important. That part will get done this year?
The plan is to work on getting the sidewalk connections completed this summer. The sidewalk program, or the sidewalk portion of this program, is essentially on Amy Drive and connecting to an existing sidewalk near Ryan Street, and then running connecting sidewalk on Ryan Street down to Commerce Street, and then back out to Holmen Drive. This actually completes a loop of sidewalk, contiguous sidewalk, all the way in that entire area. The plan on that is to at least facilitate a mechanism where people can walk from the residential areas over to the existing sidewalk along Holmen Drive, and then make the connections to the schools in that area.
We're also going to have some sidewalk on Commerce Street?
Yes. The sidewalk along Commerce Street will be in more of a commercial area, but it does connect the residential area over to the commercial area. Secondary benefit is it also provides a walkway for people to the businesses and also the different facilities in that area that can be used by people.
I know that it's, as Holmen has expanded over the last 10-15 years, it's almost fragmented us, because Holmen Drive was, built after some, or before some of these areas were developed, and it's made it difficult for kids getting from the west side of the village over to the east side of the village, to the swimming pool and to the library and to middle school. And I think that this was a very good idea, and it's been great that we did get a grant money that's going to help us with that. I know that there's a second portion of that grant, which you were explaining to me, but maybe you can just briefly tell people what the second part's going to do.
Okay. The second stage of the project is also the design and installation of a stoplight at the intersection of Holmen Drive and Sunset. Sunset is actually a direct link to the schools to the east side of Holmen Drive, and by placing a stoplight there, that gives better opportunity for pedestrians to cross Holmen Drive, and provides a little safer route for the people to take advantage of being able to walk or ride bicycles, which is part of the whole Safe Routes to School process, is to promote a safe traffic route, but also to promote the health benefits of walking and riding bicycles.
Well, I know that that a lot of people that live over on the west side of the village, they end up driving their kids to school. They might be not quite in the area that's covered by bus service for the school district. I'm not sure how that's all set up, but and so there's a lot of traffic there.
Yes.
Morning, night, lots of traffic there. Because of the way Holmen is located, and Sunset is a feeder street that comes out into Holmen Drive. From anybody coming from over on the east side, there's only a couple ways to get onto Holmen Drive. So there is an extensive amount of traffic there. And one of the problems, of course, is that Holmen Drive is legally a county road.
Yes.
And so there's a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit there. It really makes it dangerous for kids going across the street. And I think that this stoplight's going to help them a lot. You know, it really is. I know there's a lot of people that walk in the village. And we do have a lot of good sidewalks. But getting across Holmen Drive from one to the other is always a challenge for adults and kids. So that, if I understood it right, I sit on La Crosse Area Planning Commission and have some pretty good connections with the DOT, and they're involved with that light when it comes. I was told last year already in 2011 that the light wouldn't be there till 2013. I know that there's a study has to take place. It's all part of the process, and you work on their schedule,
yes.
on the DOT. If they tell you it's not coming until till 2013, it's not going to be there before. So, anyway, that's a good feature that's coming.
Yes.
And like you say, they'll be able to get the sidewalks done this summer. That's all been planned out, and I think you just have to finish a little bit of your paperwork, and then you'll be able to bid that out, right? We
have to finalize the plans, and then the plans need to be reviewed, and there are some other documentation that's associated with the grant that has to be completed yet, and then we would be able to bid that out for construction, but we anticipate that taking place this summer.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. That'll make life a lot easier for a lot of people.
Yes, well.
As you said, there's a lot of people that walk in the streets because there are no sidewalks in some of the sections, so that's always important. I know that the village also has a capital expenditure program for ongoing maintenance of our streets.
Yes, it does.
And that is a 5-year plan, generally?
It's commonly referred to as a 5-year capital improvements program. It does reach out even a little further than that when streets start to have some issues. They're sort of placed on the list, and of course with budgeting and funding, there's a requirement to try to match what you can do with what you have available.
Right.
So that kind of completes that process. But we do have streets that are designated for the construction project for this summer, and we hope to get that moving along fairly quickly as well.
I know that, you know, for any municipality, it's important that they keep the streets up as well as they can, and this capital program is, you know, that's the vehicle that we work with.
Yes.
And I know that sometimes if a street's on the agenda to be done this year and they have an emergency on another street that requires that they give that one some attention, sometimes we do some juggling around, but you have to do that to take care of the emergencies too. So.
Oh, yes, yes.
But, you know, for people that don't understand, we do have a program in place, and so that, and as we say, you know, we have the old side of town and the new side of town, and the new side, their streets are in pretty good shape. But the old ones have to constantly be under maintenance, and we do take care of that.
Yes.
And I think that I can speak for people on the board and tell you that we're very happy to have you with us. We think you're a good addition to our staff. You've already helped in a couple things that were kind of sitting that hadn't been finalized, and we got one of our projects half done. We can't finish that till in the spring, but you've been very helpful with that. So again, I want to welcome you to the village, and thank you for taking a job with us.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure, believe me. I enjoy what I'm doing.
Good. Well, we look forward to bigger and better things, huh?
Yes, indeed.
Right. Well, stay tuned, folks. We'll be back in a couple minutes with Lisa Kind from the Holmen Civic and Commerce Association.